Well, I wish I could give you the tea, but mine's just a little bit tart, and that's why it's called Leah's Lemonade. And tonight, we're not going to get into the lemonade as much as I want to share this young lady's story. So, as we saw last week, the Capitol was stormed by terrorists. We're going to call it what it was. And there was a lot of viral videos that went out. And I have the honor today to talk to Ashanti Smith, who was actually in one of these viral videos. And, as a DC media outlet, I think it's really important to amplify your voice, sister, and let people know what your experience was. A lot of times we watch these viral videos that have, 10 seconds of video, and we conclude what we want to conclude about it. And so I'm really excited to have you here. I have Brandon, her attorney, as well here. So thank you guys for joining me tonight.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak my story and my side of it.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Yes. So let's get into it. I mean, Ashanti, I think the first thing I thought when I saw the video was, how did this sister get here? What was going on? You see videos of these white folks inside the Capitol going crazy, and then I see this video of a Black woman getting into a physical altercation. So explain to me what happened, literally what led up to that video.
Okay, so I work downtown close to that area that the situation happened. I was on break and I went outside to basically get a fresher breath air and just walk around. And I seen what was going on, and I went down there for pictures and things of that nature. And I was encountered by all of the Trump protesters. And at that time, people were screaming racial slurs, and one of the people, which is Annie, she approached me and she was saying that she wanted to be my friend, and she was trying to offer me liquor, and she asked who was I there with. I wasn't sure how she was asking me, so I said, I'm here by myself. So then she asked, was I with Trump? And I was like, no. She said, so you're with Biden? I said, no, I believe we're doomed either way, basically. So at that time, it was a larger crowd coming down. She said, so you're Antifa. And at that time, it was a large crowd protesting and marching down, screaming, F Antifa, F Antifa. I was on Instagram Live. I didn't know what an Antifa was. So I asked her, I said, what did you just call me? She said, I didn't call you anything. Here, take a drink, take a shot with me. Let's be friends. I said, no, you're heavily intoxicated. Can you stay away from me? They didn't have masks on. I asked them to stay away because it's COVID. So I kept hearing them scream, F Antifa. She wouldn't explain to me what it was. So I proceeded to walk away. That's when the rest of her friends, it was a group of 4 people, which included Teresa and the other gentleman that tried to hit me after I defended myself. That's when Teresa actually she was the first one that actually started to harass me and scream more racial slurs. As far as I was a nigger bee, we all deserve to die, we shouldn't be there. Mm-hmm. When the protesters that were coming down screaming F Antifa, they had tried to storm the police barricade, and I had proceeded to walk away. So Annie, Teresa, and the rest of their friends proceeded to follow me, and they were trying to take my phone. They were rubbing up against my body, bumping me with theirs. They were trying to take my keys and my belongings out of my pocket. I tried to defend myself as far as trying to get them out of my face. They were trying to remove my mask because I kept asking them to stay away. So the gentleman that's seen in the video, I forgot his name, but he started to hit me and was saying, nigger, B, don't hit her, while I was trying to protect them from stealing my items. They started to surround me as I was trying to walk to the police barricade for protection. A police officer did actually grab me and asked me to walk back to the police barricade. He allowed I'm not sure how long it was, but he waited until the crowd actually dispersed and kind of walked away. So he told me that it was okay to leave. And that's when I started trying to go back to work. At that time, the same people, they started to surround me again as soon as I walked away from the police barricade. But as they surrounded me again, more people came around me and started to surround me. So they were still calling me nigger bees, hang that nigger, kill her. And that's when they still were proceeding. I was being pushed and grabbed from different directions. I wasn't sure who was around me, who was attacking me. I was trying to get away, but they kept surrounding me. Then I believe someone spit on me. I heard somebody make the sound as if they were hog spitting, and I felt something wet go across my face right before the video starts. And she's still taunting me, calling me things, and trying to take my mask, trying to take my phone. And then that's when the video started, which is the second incident, which a lot of people don't understand, that this wasn't the first incident that you all are seeing on the camera. This is my second incident, and the police were aware that I was being harassed. So she kept trying to take down my mask. And like I said, I felt as though someone spit on me. So I automatically, I guess, got in defense mode, and I hit her and I stepped back because I did not want to seem like the aggressor, especially being a Black female in a crowd of white supremacists or Trump supporters or however they may be recognized. I didn't want to seem as the aggressor, or I was down there to cause any problems, because that wasn't it. I was there to take pictures, and I was showing my live what was going on as soon as I started getting harassed. So I started the live for my protection and just to show everyone how they actually will treat us, and just trying to, I guess, tell everybody to stay safe, and just, like I said, for my protection. So she started grabbing my mask, and I hit her and I stepped back. As soon as I stepped back, that's when the gentleman tries to hit me. I at first thought it was a gentleman that hit me once I was being pulled to the police line, but once we all started reviewing the video, it's actually a woman. I don't know if it's the woman that was with their group, but there's a woman that's standing behind Teresa that steps around the crowd as soon as I hit her, and she hits me. She's kind of at the bottom of the video, so a lot of people may not see it, but she hits me and she steps away and drifts back into the crowd. Then I'm pulled to the police line by 3 gentlemen. And at that time when I'm pulled, I lose my headphone that I had. I lost one of my shoes. So when they pull me to the line, the police are aware that I was being harassed and assaulted. So they're telling everyone to clear the line and let me through the police barricade. So I'm asking the police officers, could they go retrieve the items that I lost? And as they were going to go get my items, that's when Annie, I believe her name is Annie Lorenz, she comes behind me as they're trying to pull me through the barricade and assaults and attacks me from the back. At that time, they started spraying pepper spray. I got hit directly in my face. Then some officers tried to shield me and walk me around the back of the police barricade. They escort me to the side, which is the same side that I was pulled to previous to the second incident. When I got there, I was trying to clear my eyes because I could not see. And I could only hear one officer saying, "What the F is she doing back here? No, she has to get the F from behind this line." It's other officers telling him, "No, she was told to stay here. She can stay." He's just saying, all I can hear him saying is, "I don't give a F. She has to go back over the line." So I could not see. I lost all of my vision. Like I said, I got sprayed directly in my face. So I was already in fear for my life just with the situation that just happened. But to know that some police officers were trying to help me, but then it's this one or others that may have felt the same type of way that are trying to push me back into the crowd that I just got assaulted by. So I left because he kept insisting that I left. So I had to walk through the same crowd that just assaulted me. I didn't have my vision. I didn't get a police escort. So I had to walk all the way back to work. Anybody could have attacked me. Anybody could have done anything to me. I walked back to work. I cleared my eyes, tried to get everything back to normal. My Instagram live was still going on. A lot of people shared it. So a lot of people were posting. They were saying, make sure you save this because you know Instagram is going to try to delete it. So as soon as I was trying to save my Instagram, it actually said reconnecting and deleted my whole Instagram. So I have been trying to reach out to recover it, but I have not heard anything back. So this incident happened around, I want to say between 10 and 10:30, 10 and 10:20. I got off at 11 p.m. It was 2 other barricades that I had to go through to get to the barricade that the incident happened. So I stopped at each barricade. One of them was near my job. I stopped at the barricade. I let them know who I was. They already recognized me, and they said that I was the victim of the assault and that they were looking for me to give me my belongings. And they were trying to figure out where I went after they escorted me to the side. So I explained to them I was basically told to leave. So they told me they couldn't escort me because they couldn't leave their patrol and where they were stationed at, but just to make sure that each police barricade I went to allow them to know who I was and why I was coming. So once I finally got to the last barricade where the incident happened, they were aware of who I was. So they pulled me through the barricade instantly. They gave me my items, and as soon as I was leaving, a detective approached me and he said that he wanted to take my information and my side of the story because I was a victim of a hate crime. At that point, my supervisors were on the phone because I had to let them know what had happened. So they were requesting to talk to the police officers or the detective. He agreed to talking to them. And at that time, the protesters began to scream and get louder. So he asked me to follow him down the street closer towards the White House so he could understand me and hear me. It was other police officers around that actually followed us to confirm my story. Everything that I was telling the detective, they confirmed everything. So he said that once he walked me down the street, he said that he had to go and take a call or speak to someone. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but he said that he had to come back. And it took about 5 minutes. He came back. And at that time, I had my supervisor on the phone and my district supervisor. And they were requesting to speak to him. And he said, yeah, not right now. Put your hands behind your back. And I asked them why. And me and the other officers are asking him why. He said, you're being placed under arrest for assault. And I said, if anything, I didn't assault anybody. I defended myself. And the officers were saying, we would have arrested, if she did assault someone, we would have arrested her when we pulled her behind the police barricade. She was defending herself and she was the victim. He said, I have you on camera. So I kept telling him, I was like, I'm sure if you have me on camera, I'm sure you would see everything that happened and transpired. And I also tried to tell him that I was on live when it happened. He said he didn't care. He put me in handcuffs. They removed all of my items from me. They found a female officer in the crowd. She searched me. They did not read me my rights. They put me in a vehicle and transported me to the 1D police station. I guess I got there probably around, I want to say before midnight, and I was not released until after 2 p.m. the next day. And I was actually released into the Trump supporter crowd in protest. So when I was released into the crowd, a lot of people actually knew who I were as far as the Trump supporters. And they were just saying, isn't that the Black girl? I wasn't released with any of my property or any knowledge of how to get to the police station to retrieve my items. I walked for over 2 hours trying to get to the police station to retrieve my items. Once I got to the police station, I was told, I didn't know what happened at the Capitol, but the police station said that they went on lockdown. They couldn't explain to me why, but they wouldn't let me retrieve my items. So it took me about another hour to get to my job. I went to my job, my vehicle was still there, my purse and all of my belongings, my house keys and my car keys. So when I went to my job, they told me that I couldn't come on the premises. So I wasn't sure what happened with my job right now. That's why a lot of people are confused because, as I said, I didn't know that I went viral until I actually got released from jail, and I had to call one of my friends to come and get me. One person did allow me to use their phone after I couldn't get into my job. One person did allow me to use their phone to call for a ride. At that time, it's a lot of protests going on. It's streets shut down, so I had to wait another hour. So this is about 4 to 5 hours in total that I'm walking and waiting in this crowd by myself with no protection, no help or anything. So my friend finally came and got me, and that's when I actually found out that the videos were surfacing. So I did tell everyone that I was okay. And it was just like overwhelming. But as I said, I wasn't able to get my belongings or my vehicle until the next day. And I had to require a police escort. And I got my items the next day once the police station opened. But they told me that they weren't able to give me an escort from the station to my job. They just basically told me, I explained to them the situation, what happened, and the fear that I had, especially with the large police, the Trump and protesters' presence. And I asked if they could actually escort me to my job, just so I wasn't sitting outside or waiting and someone recognized me and I get attacked. They told me that they couldn't do anything. All they could do is tell me to call 911 once I was in the area and hope that someone would be able to be dispatched to me. I had to flag down an officer in the middle of traffic and ask them to escort me to my job. And even with that, it took a while for me to get my vehicle. I did get my vehicle and my belongings. It took 2 days after for my job, my union or my job to reach out to me and allow me to know that I was placed on suspension pending investigation and was not allowed on any premises. So that's why a lot of people are kind of getting confused where they didn't know. They're saying, I thought she lost her job. And now she's saying pending investigation. I was under the assumption, especially being told that I could not receive my vehicle after this happened, that I was suspended, well, fired. So I didn't hear anything. I tried to reach out to several supervisors and no one got in contact with me until 2 days later to tell me that I was suspended pending investigation. And then today someone reached out to me about the job from the union, but I still don't have any information as far as the job goes.
So walk me through the moment that the altercation happened where you ended up punching the lady in the face. Because if it were me, I would be scared for my life. And I mean, you said you didn't really have knowledge of what had taken place at the Capitol. You were just on your break. But talk to me about the moment you're sitting there in your head and it turns into fight or flight. If I don't react, my life could be on the line. Talk to me about that.
Right.
When did you realize this could be my life?
So, like I said, this is the second altercation. So once they surrounded me again, after literally seeing me being protected by the police and then being released by the police, it was kind of confusing and shocking, especially because they're so close. And I felt as though they were very bold to do so. And it was the same crowd at first, and then everyone started to surround me. So they were pulling me from different ways. So I felt very threatened. I didn't know who was attacking me or who could have done anything. So it was as far as I already let these people harass me, assault me, and hit me because I didn't want to seem as though I went down there to be an aggressor or start any trouble. That wasn't any of my intentions ever. So I didn't want to be presented as that person if it ever did get out or if anyone seen it, even if it didn't go public. I didn't want to look like that person. So when it was numerous people hitting me from different ways, pulling me from different ways, screaming, hang that nigger and kill that nigger and we should hang them all, it was more insults coming from different ways, more assaults coming from different ways. So the first incident, I already feared for my life, but the second one that everyone is seeing, I definitely feared for my life more than anything ever. So as I already said, I felt as though someone spit on me before the incident that everyone is seeing that surfaced. So I guess that is what made me go in defense mode, because at first I was just allowing them to do it, kind of, because as I said, I didn't want them to think that I was the aggressor. But in some videos you can see I'm holding my phone up and I'm just showing everyone, like, this is what they will do to you, but they are doing it because they want a reaction. Do not react to them. Like, I just wanted, even though I was going through it and I feared for my life, I was still trying to kind of spread positivity and just put everybody in knowledge because it happened to me. I would never expected it to happen to me. So it was just multiple people hitting me, attacking me and screaming racial slurs. And I was afraid because it was more people coming around, and I defended myself. I didn't defend myself as far as I was trying to harm anyone or just went down there for any trouble. I just defended myself.
Yeah, and I can also imagine too the moment where after that takes place, you go into police custody and you're assuming that you're safe, and then you hear another officer say, "Why is she back here?" And I think
Correct.
another trigger goes off in your mind, because then when you think it's safe,
Right.
something else that we know for Black people day to day can turn deadly in an officer interaction with a Black person. And
Yes, ma'am.
considering the
That's one
heightened
of the
nature
things.
of everything.
Yes, that's one of the things that kind of surprised me, because it seemed like I had a lot, well, most of the police support. I would say some of them were trying to help me, but I could see that most of them weren't. But just to hear someone as an officer, someone that's supposed to be to protect and serve us, just to hear someone saying that I was in danger and threatened and all of this and harassed, just to hear him have no regards for my safety and basically just throwing me out to be harmed again, it was very disappointing, because that's not what your job title is. So I was very hurt by that, and it definitely hurt just to hear someone talk to me or degrade me in that type of way.
Yeah, and I can only imagine. And then it gets blasted on the internet, and then there's these opinions, right? So there's a
Yes, ma'am.
whole other layer to everything that's going on. Now, like you said earlier, you have been suspended from your job. You haven't been fired technically. You've been suspended. So right now you're kind of in a way trying to figure out. But I did see on the Shade Room that they had posted that you did lose your job, and there were some celebrities who said that they were willing to hire you. So have you been reached out to by anybody that you were actually willing to take their job request?
So I did get in contact with one celebrity. I don't know if I am able to speak on who it was, but it was one.
Super Set? Is it Super Set?
I
Okay.
don't know if I could.
All right.
But I was reached out to one of the celebrities, and I'm actually, just to show my appreciation, just for the love and support, like, I'm trying to see if I can meet up with somebody, but I'm not sure. But
you can definitely mention her name and
okay.
support.
So yes, okay. So yes, I have spoken to Super Scent,
Yes!
and I did talk to Super Scent. I wanted to make sure that it was okay for me to say it, but I am trying to actually, just for her, just reaching out. She was the first celebrity and that reached out and especially asked if I was okay and I needed a job. So I just wanted to show my love and support. I'm trying to see if it's possible that we can meet, just to show her my gratitude and appreciation. But that's kind of in the works right now. I hope that I can keep you all posted and you all see something soon. But that's pretty much probably the first person that I have physically talked to.
Okay. I was glad to see the Black community rally around you during this time. I can just tell, listening to you speak, that this has been a difficult situation for you. I do want to bring in Brandon, your attorney. So obviously there are legal things pending right now on both sides. One of the white woman who assaulted you has current charges, and you have charges. So Brandon, tell me right now, kind of legally speaking, where she's sitting in as her attorney. What are the next steps for you?
So it's very early on in the case right now. I still need to get a lot of discovery from the government, obviously. They currently charged her with one count of simple assault. There's one status hearing pending some months from now. And I think it's clear from what happened, from what's on the video, from her very credible version of the events, that she has very strong defenses. I think that there is a good chance that the government should probably end up dismissing this case before we go to trial. But even if they decide that they want to litigate this case, she clearly has a self-defense claim. She has a defensive property claim. I think that the woman that walked up to her and hit her, that's Anne Loren. She's also charged right now. She's actually charged with assault on a law enforcement officer. I think that the case against her is strong. And so I think we're going to have a good result for Ms. Smith.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't want to hold you all night. I know you've been busy. I know you've been talking to a lot of people, but I do want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I want to thank you for sharing your story. And sister, there are people out here supporting you. There are, no matter what the situation and the outcome is, there are people who are supporting you. Your community supports you. So have faith in that. There are people who want to get behind you and understand the real threat that was on your life that night. So thank you for being strong enough to share. Thank you for sharing your story with the DMV. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you for the opportunity again for speaking out, and I appreciate everybody for all the support and the love. I honestly do. It's definitely been helping with everything that's going on, and it's keeping me moving and pushing through all of this. So I appreciate you all.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Y'all have a good
All
night.
right. You too.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thanks.